Hello and welcome to WhiskAYE Podcast number 17. Currently unnamed, but we'll think of one as we go in. As always, this is based on the Dram Team box from at some point in this year. We've kind of got lost. But this Dram Team box is entitled Worldwide Whiskies. I'll read you the blurb and then I'll hand over to my esteemed co-host to bring us into the first whiskey. So worldwide whiskies. Whiskey exploration is our mission at the Dram Team, making this epic world tour of whiskies exactly our sort of staycation. Buckle up for unexpected twists and turns as we journey to 6 different whiskey-making shores, taking in a mix of eye-opening surprises and well-known classic styles. Bon voyage, intrepid drinker. So we're nipping to 6 different countries with this one, so there'll be lots of different themes, I imagine, and lots of opportunity for us to go off on rambling tangents. So where do we go first then?
First off, we are going to Japan. I'd like to just say though that I'm pretty sure it's the July box if anyone's actually trying to keep track.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because we've got 2. No.
I read the box. That's how I worked it out.
So it's July. Yeah, because we've got 2 offers, haven't we? Yes, fine. Okay. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so our first whiskey is from Nikka, and it is called Days. So that's good.
Oh my days.
Yeah. A classic, easy sipping and vibrant Japanese blend comprised of malt and grain whiskies from both Nikka's Yoichi and Miyagikyo distilleries. Apologies if I absolutely...
Which you tried your best, and that's what matters.
A proper sunny day dram and makes a wonderful highball for extra refreshment. Well, we won't be making it a highball, but
I have a story to go on once we've had a bit of a drink of this one, actually, about Japanese whiskey. I haven't been to Japan, but...
I would be quite annoyed if you'd somehow managed to go to Japan during lockdown without me.
Yeah, I made a social bubble with someone in Tokyo.
Okay. The nose for this should be apples, pears, and strawberry licorice, which is interesting.
I missed an obvious joke.
Pears, and pear licorice, they say.
Should have said I was getting my eyes tested, shouldn't I?
What?
Going to Japan.
Yeah. Perfume notes of Daiginjo, again, apologies if I butchered it, sake, and white melon. Grainy flavours develop with freshly crushed barley and malting floor sweetness floating out of the glass. White chocolate and a sprinkling of lemon zest sit at the back.
So this is like... It's kind of got all the hallmarks of like a really light whiskey, like a Glen Grant. Yeah. Or like a Nikka. I've had a couple of Nikkas. It's really lively, really, really vibrant.
Don't like want to be that guy, but it's interesting that it's like a Nikka.
Yeah, okay. Well, like other Nikkas that I've had. I've never had this particular one, but...
It's also, we're not saying Knickers, we are saying Nikkas. It's just...
Nikka, yeah.
Both of us happen to have regional accents, so...
Yeah, sorry about that. It's not the BBC. So what... Yeah,
I get... It's like BBC 3.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. No, they're usually Welsh. Right, so what am I meant to be tasting? I'll dive in.
Creamy and soft, with grapes and apples on top of toffee and candied lemon. Delicate white chocolate notes are joined by darker licorice hints and a tiny touch of barrel char smokiness. Right at the back is a bowl of apples, freshly peeled and sliced. And then it should finish with lemon zest and buttery biscuits, barley sugar sweetness to leave grain and spice.
Well, I really like this.
Yeah.
It's very, very kind of summer fruity. No, not summer fruity, like... Because summer fruits, I guess, are like...
Berries, usually.
Berries, yeah, like apples and pears and that kind of fruit. Green fruits, I guess, is it?
Yeah, I would say that.
Very kind of light fruits, you know. Spring kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like what is it? He says it's a sunny day dram. Yeah, I think that describes it really well. Because whiskey generally is not what you want on a hot day, but this is really nice for that kind of.
I'd like to know what sake is supposed to smell like, but I do get a meloniness to it when I smell it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only had sake once. It's nice when I had it. But I don't know if I got much smell other than alcohol from it, to be fair. But it was a while ago, and I wasn't really trying. So,
Well, that is actually very creamy and light.
Yeah, it is. So I will say green fruits on the nose. On our spreadsheet here, green fruits on the nose. Very creamy and light. The palate, fruit sweetness continues to develop to the finish. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Sorry, what exactly did you write?
Green fruits on the nose, very creamy and light on the palate. Fruit sweetness continues to develop to the finish.
I'll just say that I actually do get like a melon note to it, like a very fresh.
No. Oh yeah, fresh is a good word for it. I'm going to steal that for my review. Fresh. So what score would you like to give that?
I'm thinking quite high on this, to be fair.
Yeah, I am.
I don't like to usually come flying out the gates on one of these with a high score, but this is probably a 4 at least, yeah.
This is like...
I don't think it's refined enough, maybe, to go much higher, but I would say it's a disservice to go below a 4.
Yeah, this is kind of like one of those examples where it's not like as complicated as like sometimes you get in the sherry bomb or you get in like the teeling that we really like. That's really complicated, but it does what it does really, really well.
Yeah.
So it's really simple and really light, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
So my Japan segue. While I was back up north, this was while lockdown allowed a small amount of travel. Just so.
This looks like it's going away again.
Yes, and I didn't go on public transport. I went in the car, so I was very responsible. My parents had recorded a whiskey program that was shown. I think it might have been on BBC Three. 3 episodes. Some Scottish guy, I think he's out of soaps, and he went around all different distilleries, including Japan. He went to Tasmania. He went to Sweden. And he was kind of saying that Scotch is leading the way, but these others are catching up, and explaining the history of it and that. And it was a really good show. But it was interesting when he was talking about how in Japan they all have it whiskey and soda. That's how you have whiskey over there.
That's probably fair. I mean, soda water doesn't hold much taste. It makes stuff slightly bit more bitter.
So I think they all have like basically highballs pretty much. They don't have it neat like we do, but there was an interesting one when he was up in Craiglachie, or however you pronounce it, up near where we've been.
Yeah.
There's a guy who owns a pub up there, a Japanese guy, and he does a load of Japanese whiskies right in the heart of Speyside, and I thought that'd be cool to visit if we were ever back up there.
That would be pretty cool to visit.
So, because it's so different, right in the middle. But it was good because he went to, the Macallan distillery hadn't been built yet, the new one.
Okay.
So he visited the building site, and he went to Glenfarclas, and he went to Glenlivet, obviously.
Was it by any chance called Scotch: The Story of Whiskey?
It was, yeah.
I've just googled it. I'm not.
It's good. I'd recommend it. Even though I knew most of what it was talking about, it was really cool to watch. I'm interested in the Tasmanian ones.
As in Australia?
Yeah, Tasmania, Australia, yeah. Tasmania's like the capital of whiskey in Australia now. There's quite a few distilleries on there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that Cooper King distillery that I'm a founder of?
Yes.
They were visiting Tasmania, and that's where they got the idea to start a distillery.
Huh.
But they do it really differently, and they've got some of them have won some really like prestigious awards, but they make hardly any, even compared to like small ones over here. It's very small scale.
I'm assuming also because of the heat.
Yeah,
they have similar issues as India and such.
Tasmania's more temperate than you think, though. It's got a good temperature range. It's not just like Australia.
Yeah,
it's more temperate. But yes, Angel's Share, I think they were saying, was like 8% or something like that.
It's not too bad.
It was pretty high. India's is the highest I've heard, but that's serious heat.
Yeah, but I mean, like 8% is bad, but it's not like
Well,
it's
you
not
can't
like
age it for
India.
that long, can you? 24% gone when it's already whiskey.
Oh yeah, 8% per year. Yeah, that is quite bad.
I think it was quite high like that. I might be either lowballing or highballing. I can't remember, but yeah, I would recommend that show. It was only for like 3 episodes, about an hour each, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And it even convinced my dad to try some whiskies, so I gave him a couple in these little bottles. Some of the ones I hadn't finished from previous podcasts.
Yeah.
So I gave him a bottle of a small bottle of the Glen Grant 18 that I've got. And I was like, if you don't like this one, you won't like whiskey.
Yeah.
It's about as easy as whiskey gets to drink.
On the whole whiskey soda kind of thing, there's a lot of the old guys who's, what do they call it? It's a sphincter, but it's not that one. The one that, when you get heartburn all the time because you've burnt out your the top of your stomach, essentially.
Yeah.
But a lot of the old guys who are at that stage of their life, big red nosed guys, drink a whiskey half and half with water. So you still get like the flavour of water, but the flavour of whiskey, but it's not. It's like watered down enough that it doesn't burn your throat.
We'll be there by like 45.
Yeah. Looking forward to my bulbous red nose.
Yeah.
It's like mark of honor,
Yeah, you've achieved manliness.
Yeah.
So after that segue, did you want to move on to whiskey number 2? I can introduce us to this one.
Yeah, I'd be well up for that.
So we heading back around the world to Ireland. So this is Lambay whiskey, small batch blend, cognac cask finish, which I think is a new one for us.
Yeah.
Here at the Dram Team, we love the classic, smooth, triple distilled Irish style, and Lambay's small batch blend is a great representative. However, all of Lambay's whiskies come with an atypical twist. They are aged on the privately owned Lambay Island in bourbon casks before being finished in casks from prestigious cognac house Camus. Use of cognac casks is relatively rare, making each of Lambay's releases somewhat special, and they get bonus points for the exceptionally well-dressed puffin in their logo. So on the nose, floral, citrus, and lingering spiciness. So I'll just pour mine out, and then I'll tell you what you should be tasting.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get the spiciness anyway.
So if you want to dive in, you should be getting cracked almonds, pepper, malt, floral, with a finish of spiciness with lingering sweetness. So what do you get?
Yeah, it is peppery, and then into like a almost like a ice creamy flavor at the end.
I get the spiciness of the citrus on the nose, that is for sure. I'm gonna have my first taste.
I was going to taste as well, but I'll fill the dead air whilst you go.
How kind. Yeah, there's definitely kind of a little bit of peppery spiciness, not heavy spice, but it tingles a bit. And there is kind of a very light. I get what you mean by it. It's like a creamy sweetness, like almost like what am I trying to think? Like condensed milk.
Yeah, that's probably more what I was aiming for.
Yeah, something like that.
I was trying to say it's creamy, but it's not like normal cream. Like normally
slightly sweeter.
It's sweeter than what I would normally say is a creamy flavour on a whiskey.
Yes. Yeah.
And the spiciness sort of also hangs around.
It does, doesn't it? It seems to ebb and flow a little bit. Citrus and spice.
Not sure about the almonds, but I imagine that's quite a...
But almonds just taste creamy.
Yeah, it's true.
They have a bit of a flavour, but if they're in something, they generally just add texture, don't they? Like in a Toblerone. Spiciness at first on the palate, and then creamy. What did we say? Condensed milk.
Yeah.
Flavors. Spiciness lingers. This is really nice as well.
Yeah.
This is really good. It's a good box.
I imagine cognac being a brandy. That's a particular type of brandy.
Is cognac a type of brandy? Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine you get similar kind. It's a similar kind of spirit to
sherry.
Yeah. I've never really drank either brandy or sherry. I feel like I should probably start doing those things to.
I've had sherry. It's not very nice.
No.
It's very sweet.
I suppose like all, what would you call it? Fortified wine type.
I'm not a wine drinker, so
I don't mind red.
Kind of lost on me. You're right, by the way. Cognac is a type of.
Yeah, it's like a particular region because the French like to name things after regions rather than what they are.
Yeah, well, not like Scotch whiskey.
It's whiskey, right? And then you add Scotch. It's not cognac brandy. It's
fair point. It's not Calvados brandy, is it? Right. Scores on the doors.
I'm going 4 again.
I'm going 4. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sure some of these are gonna drop off.
Well, I'm not looking forward to the Macmira one.
Which is up next.
Yeah, because every Swedish whiskey I've had so far has been very smoky.
Because they really like smoke in Sweden. So
well, this is one of the points that they were making, that Japanese whiskies tend to be lighter because their food tends to be lighter. There's no point having a drink that just doesn't go with any of your food.
Yeah. That's like uncooked fish doesn't actually have that much flavour.
Well, it's very light.
Sashimi, you more taste the. Well, I always tend to taste the rice mostly.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Your turn then to introduce us to the next one.
Yeah, because I'm doing great with my pronunciation so far. So this is the Macmira. I'm going to say Gronche.
Yeah, why not?
So Macmira's master blender, Angela Dorazio, loves exploring both new cultures and innovative flavors, which is how Gronte came to be. Casks are seasoned with Oloroso sherry, relatively normal, and 4 different styles of vintage Japanese green tea leaves, extremely unusual. The result is a truly unique whiskey, not one to miss.
I'm guessing then Gronte means green tea.
I would imagine that is probably true, yeah. That's a good... Well observed.
Yeah. Huh.
So, on the nose, this one should be spicy, floral, red berries, and fruits, with notes of green tea, white pepper, and roasted vanilla. Dry grapes, citrus pear, and forest berries. So a lot of fruit.
You say that's like 13 different things.
Well, I mean, they've said red berries and fruits with notes of green tea, and then they've said grapes, citrus, pear, and forest berries. So
you covered pretty much every type of fruit.
Yeah, it's just fruity.
Spicy fruit and green tea.
Yeah, Christmassy fruit.
It's spicy. Get fruit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost sherried, but not quite.
Well, obviously it does have. It is sherried a little bit, but.
What should I be tasting?
On the palate, it should be fruity and floral finish with fine vanilla, herbal, green tea notes, green apples, and finishing with a light spiciness. And then the finish, even though we've talked about finishing twice already, should be spicy, fruity, and herbal green tea leaves and rich vanilla.
I do get the green tea, actually. In the middle, not at the finish, in the middle. Green tea, it tastes like pond water, but this isn't too bad in this. It's spicy to begin with. That's what dominates. Then it's kind of like that, like earthy kind of flavors, I guess.
There's a little bit of a saltiness to it.
Yeah. And then it gets a bit sweeter towards the back.
Yeah, it does sort of end on this. It's actually very, very vanilla-y.
Yeah.
Like,
So
more so than usual. Like usually it's just like, oh, maybe that's vanilla. This one is like identifiably.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it. So spiced fruit on the nose, spice to begin on the palate.
I like to add my salty.
Yep.
Comment.
Then earthy green tea and vanilla to finish. How do you want to phrase your salty comment?
Just that it has just say it has a very savoury undertone, basically.
Savoury undertones.
Speaking of pond water,
yeah,
I went swimming in a loch at the weekend.
The
as
in a LOCH, I was in an LOCK because that's dangerous.
I don't want to get run over by a canal boat. No, an LOCH. I was saying the loch. Lomond.
The loch. Is that the loch?
I mean, it's the one that everyone sings about, isn't it?
Is it more famous than Loch Ness?
I'd say they're on a par. Loch Ness has its monster, which gets it a wee boost, but
yeah, you don't want to be swimming in there, then, do you?
Loch Lomond is
Loch Lomond is the best.
It's a lot prettier.
Where my Scottish ancestry hails from.
Yeah.
And one day, Loch Lomond Distillery will do a belter of a whiskey.
But I mean, I know I was contributing to the issue, but we had to go quite far north from Glasgow to actually get to a car park with spaces because everyone was flocking to beauty spots. Also tried paddle boarding.
It's always stand up.
Yeah, I didn't stand up.
Nah, I don't blame me. I'm not balancing on water.
Oh, I think I would manage it, but this was my first time and the water was quite choppy because as much as it was a warm day, it is September, so it's windy. Yeah.
Do you have fun though?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah. I think the people who had wetsuits probably, like, they had more confidence on...
It's like the people who turn up to distillery tours in tartan.
Yeah.
Or like...
I feel like the wetsuit is warranted for if you're going to try and stand up. But, it wasn't... The water wasn't cold enough to need it for the swim. But
so next time we're up in like Speyside or whatever, we'll do some river swimming.
I'm not saying that.
Do what?
I'm retracting the capability for us to do water sports.
You'll be fine after a couple of distillery tours.
No. I'm just saying because of connotation of the word. We will do sports on water. There we
go. Yeah. I'm glad you clarified. Family-friendly channel. What's wrong with you?
I didn't say anything.
All right, moving on. What score would you give this?
I think I'd give that. It's interesting. I'd probably give it a 3.5 just for
I'm with
being different.
Yeah, because green tea is not my favourite flavour, but that was actually, I want to encourage stuff like that. I don't want whiskey that just tastes like whiskey. I want to.
Why not? I do want that, but I like also do ones that are different.
I want ones that are tried with tea or coffee or beer.
You all can have your core range, which tastes like whiskey, and then do special stuff. Like, although apparently it might have gotten fired, the master distiller at Glenmurray. Yeah.
Shame, because some of those special ones were nice.
I feel like the problem is that you can hit out the park 10 times and have an absolute dud once, and the amount that a dud costs is more than the money you made with the...
I feel like Glenmurray was struggling to differentiate itself a little bit in Speyside.
They are very... Like, their normal stuff is normal.
Yeah. Crowded market, Speyside.
Yeah.
But
it's also hard to stand out when you're like, surrounded by your giants like Glenfiddich and Macallan, as well as like powerhouses of different styles, like
Aberlour's number one selling in France, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're big on they're like well sherried.
Yeah, so
you've got like a lot of powerhouses of different styles around. You've got your slightly peated stuff coming out of was it Ben Romack?
Yeah.
You got really light stuff coming out of Glen Grant. There's all the different ones have a thing.
Yeah, they need a thing.
If your thing is we are pretty stereotypically Speyside, it's hard to stand out. So
yeah. Well, fingers crossed, because I like their whiskies and I like their.
No, they're not going to go under. I don't think. Like a big thing they have going for them is that they're like no age statement, normal. Like I don't know what they call it. It's not a founder's reserve. It's just, but that's like usually like the cheapest good whiskey in supermarkets, unless there's a deal on. So if people are just like, I'm just after a bottle of whiskey, I'm going to drink a bottle of whiskey, then they can pick that up.
It's a shame though, because they're better than that.
Well, you don't want to be. That's the issue, is that if it stays that being your main driver,
connotations, isn't it?
People are like, oh, they're the cheap whiskey, and you're like, no, actually, this is really good stuff.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I really like it.
Pay like an extra £5 for this one.
I think theirs is the highest rated peated one I've ever had.
Probably. They know how to handle
PX finish one.
Oh, yeah, also peated. That was really, really good.
It was really, really good. I like the cider cask finish as well.
I think that was one of the ones that didn't do so well.
Yeah. Shame. Right. I'll introduce us to the next one, shall I?
Yes.
So we've gone to Japan, Ireland, and Sweden. We're now off to India, which is one of the biggest producers now outside of Scotland. So this is I'm going to say it says Amrut. I don't know if it's Amru. Apologies.
Amrut,
so this is
right.
Yeah, I'm Yorkshire. We say it simple. Amrut single malt. Little known fact: India drinks more whiskey than any other country in the world.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of people there. Yeah. Amrut takes its name from a mythical golden pot containing the elixir of life that sprang forth when ancient gods and rakshasas, demons, churned the oceans using the mountain Meru as churner. Legendary stuff. I should read about that. That sounds really interesting.
I like mythology of pretty much any background.
And I feel like a bunch of them that have got really cool ones get missed out.
Yeah.
Japanese mythology is really fun.
Yeah.
I've read a little bit.
Everyone's kind of like, it's like
Greek or Norse.
Greek. Well, the classical canon, Greek, Roman.
Yeah.
Norse, then Egyptian, then probably like the
Celtic
gamut of, I'd say the gamut of South America, because the Celtics ones are all very
I suppose people
loosely
know
tied,
don't they?
But everyone like Azteca and Mayan and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot that gets missed.
Yeah,
like
but the thing is that
really
just
good.
About everyone anywhere ever in history had this kind of a culture. Because until
everyone
2000,
had stories.
Well, apart from basically until 2,000 years ago, the monotheistic, Judaism style was ostracized, and then Christianity came along and killed everyone that disagreed.
Yeah, everyone's got stories, and they're interesting.
They're more interesting than there is a God, in my opinion. To be like, there is a God
perfect.
that does this, and there's a God that does this, and sometimes they fight each other.
Up, and sometimes he shags the wife, and it's a lot more interesting, isn't it? It's because there are a lot more. You can connect with them, can't you?
Yeah.
Flawed characters are more believable. Anyway, so this legendary based whiskey, on the nose, distinctly confident licorice bourbon notes with near perfect bittersweet balance. Burnt honeycomb and toffee also abound.
Oh, that is very, very.
Oh, that is very kind of creme caramel.
Maybe licorice. I don't know if it's bitter
enough.
I'm
getting a lot of kind of like caramelized sugar on the nose there.
Maybe treacly.
Yeah, like black treacle.
Yeah. As opposed to licorice. But...
Yeah. I get what they mean by the sweet bitter balance.
Yeah.
That smells lovely. That smells like a dessert.
Yeah.
So on the palate, you should get outstanding richness and sheen to the enormous barley oak sweetness. Again, there is a big bourbony cut to the cloth with licorice and molasses. The barley adds an extra dimension. The finish is long, Wonderfully layered oak, offering variations of a sweet, dry theme, a touch silky, with some cream toffee at the death. So what do you get from that?
Yeah, definitely. It's big.
Oh, yeah.
It fills your mouth. It's not a lot of flavors.
It's the biggest one so far, though, isn't
it? But it is. When you like swirl it around your mouth, it doesn't go away. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't settle in one place. It just stays there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely, yeah. Like I suppose molasses is really treacle, right? Black treacle.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what I was getting on the nose, and that definitely carries through to the flavour.
Yeah. So molasses starts on the nose, and is carried through.
Yeah, it's actually quite dry.
It is quite dry, yeah. Quite dry, and I'm going to put big in inverted commas because it is. It's a full mouthfeel, isn't it? This one, compared to the others.
Like, even if you try and keep it even if you don't let it into your cheeks,
yeah, it explodes
when you swallow, it explodes out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. Again. It's a good, very good box this time. There've been a few good boxes though.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. There's been barely any boxes where I would say they were below.
I think the average is usually like a 3.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any further comments? I've put molasses starts on the nose and is carried through into the palate. Quite dry and big with a creamy finish.
Yep, that would be exactly how I'd probably describe it.
And what would you like to give that one?
I struggle to give it more than the Lambe one, but I feel like 4 is fine. I feel like I can happily agree with a 4 on that one as well.
I'll go 3.5 on that one. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the previous 2 4s.
This is my problem. Is it's like I feel like it was above the McMira, but slightly.
Oh no, I liked it. I liked the McMira, but they were different. They were doing different things.
Yeah. No, I enjoy. But I feel like this one. I don't know. I feel like
do you want me to backdate the McMira to a 3?
Nah, I'm happy to just keep it at 4.
We're gonna have to go to like 0.75s, aren't we?
I'm not doing that. That's why. So I'm rounding it up. Being generous.
Fair. There you go. You don't have to worry about pronunciation on the next one. We can go straight into this, and it's from a small, insignificant country, so it doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
That's true. I was going to make a comment about an important country with a lot of people in it. That you probably think if the country where you're consumed the most isn't China or India, you're probably not doing it right. Because you know what I mean, like that.
Well, between them, they've got like half the world's population or something.
Yeah, they have the most people. So if they're not the place where you sell the most of your goods,
I wonder why not China then.
I think China has they're less. I'm not
wanting
to
say integrated into the world, I suppose, aren't they?
I'm also not wanting to say anything about the regime, but I don't know how into letting their people get absolutely smashed on foreign alcohol they are.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're less integrated in terms of imports, exports, and that, aren't they?
They'll be like, well, we have our own Chinese liquor that you can drink.
Yeah, it looks like whiskey, it smells like whiskey, but it's definitely not whiskey.
Yeah,
you can't prove it is. In fact, I can't say it's not.
Aged it in pine, and it tasted terrible.
Yeah. It still reminds me of that picture that Rob sent me of that Tesco whiskey, and like the label was bragging about like 3 years old, aged only in oak. It's like those are the legal minimums.
Yeah,
like you can't do anything else.
It's like you've just described whiskey.
Yeah. But like some people would get it and be like, look at this, only in oak.
3 years.
Yeah, none of that cheap pine crap. It's like this is legally what you've got to do it in. Like aged in plywood casks.
It's literally not whiskey if it's not done like that.
Yeah, you have to squeeze the wood afterwards to get it out.
You have a malt spirit otherwise.
Yeah, it's like do it in MDF casks. You have to like compress the wood afterwards to get most of it back.
And it tastes quite a lot like Glühwein.
Yeah. Maybe that's how they made the Glenkeith one.
Yeah, it's in oak technically, but we chipped the oak and filled it and glued it back together.
Oak.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we are going to what is stated here as us #1 original sour mash whiskey.
They would agree with you, this country.
Oh no, wait. US #1. So this is probably the best sour mash whiskey in America. And it is, some people would be like, what's a sour mash whiskey? And well, it's not a bourbon, so it's like Jack Daniels, pretty much.
There is a technical description. You can check his blog out. It's not been updated in a while, but there is a description of what sour mash is on there.
Exactly. So this is from Kentucky, though, not Tennessee. So the Michter's US #1 original sour mash whiskey is, it says here, sour mash whiskey recycles previously fermented mash as the starter for the distilling process. So,
there you go.
Somewhat similar to how sourdough bread is made, and was Michter's most popular style of whiskey back in the 70s and 80s. It's had somewhat of a renaissance in recent years, being named the Whiskey Exchange's Whiskey of the Year for 2019, a firm Dram Team fave. On the nose, you should be getting enticing aromas of dried fruit and freshly baked bread, but poised and focused. So
none of that usual lazy bread.
Yeah, well,
just lounging around.
Yeah, plenty of yeast in this guy.
Poised,
please.
Focused. What would be a poised and focused
Middle
bread?
East.
What would be a poised and focused bread?
A multi-seeded.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like your white stuff. That's like kids' TV, and then brown bread. That's like adults' TV, but it's kind of boring.
It's like old people's TV.
Yeah. And then you're like multigrain or like super seeded or whatever.
Yeah, they're like young happening.
Yeah, but they're going for it. They're like, here we have a bunch of stuff that your body needs, and it's in bread, so you can have it in a sandwich and add other stuff. But the bread is focused.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I would accept arguments for anything else. Leave it in the comments below, as they say.
Tiger bread.
Tiger bread
that's quite popular.
It's popular, but I don't know if it's focused because it's like you put the cheese on the outside.
Yeah.
Is it tiger bread or is it giraffe bread? Depends what supermarket you go to.
Some call it giraffe bread.
Because a little girl wrote in and said it doesn't look like tigers, it looks like giraffe spots.
Oh, fair enough. Can't argue with that girl.
They were like, you are correct. It does not have stripes. It has spots. So.
Fine. Oh, she gets a cut of the profits.
I think she got a little plaque and probably some free giraffe bread.
Yeah, typical.
Yeah, goddamn capitalists.
Unfettered capitalism. Eat the rich. And the giraffe bread.
Yeah. Actually, don't eat the giraffe bread. That's how you ruin their profit margins. But,
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to dive in. What should I be tasting other than giraffe bread?
It's a different story on the palate. Bags of rich dried fruit and generously spiced with cinnamon and nutmeg, like a turbocharged Dundee cake. So it just becomes like a hyperactive child.
Ooh, that's different.
And then a finish, which is well balanced with the rich fruit standing up to the spice.
Yeah, it's certainly different to any whiskey we've tried in a long time. That's
dark for a sour mash, but for an American whiskey.
Yeah, give it a go. That is, I'm trying to think of words to describe it, but it's other than different. It's not sweet, but it's high
a very
in the palate.
Forward spice.
Yeah, but it doesn't last long, and then it's just
in
like
the nose almost.
Something just kind of zooms up your palate.
Yeah, like it's like right at the front and in the nose, kind of.
But then you get kind of something.
It's like a rich fruit finish.
Yeah, Yeah,
That's very nice. I can understand why this got awards.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very good.
I've never had a Dundee cake. Do you know?
No, I was going to ask you the same question.
I mean, I should probably know because it's named after. But
so I'm put dried fruit on the nose, very fruity in the palate, unique flavors. Yeah, that's difficult to describe. I get kind of a cinnamon and nutmeg.
definitely, yeah, it is like it's like a cinnamon sort of spice to it. Like it's a very sweet spice.
Yeah, with cinnamon, sweet.
Cinnamon and nutmeg both cover that.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like the center of a cinnamon swirl. Like, you know, the bit that's like soaked in the
It's like
sauce.
buttery cinnamon, yeah.
Yeah. None of that dry stuff on the outside.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't had a cinnamon swirl in ages.
Well, you didn't like cinnamon until I think probably cinnamon swirls.
I didn't like it, yeah, because I still didn't think I did, but I had one, and then someone got me one, and then I went to order one from the cafe. And I was like, I'd like a Danish, please, and they went to get me the Danish. I was like, no, that thing, like, that's not a Danish, that's a cinnamon swirl. I was like, can't be, because I don't like cinnamon. They're like, well, if you like that, you like cinnamon.
Yeah, because it's entirely flavored with cinnamon.
Yeah.
So a Dundee cake is a fruit cake with currant sultanas and almonds.
I could go sultanas.
Some marmalade.
I could go sultanas. Yeah, cinnamon and sweet spice and sultanas.
It's just interesting the way it actually.
Yeah, the way it operates in your mouth.
Yeah, when you swallow it, it starts at the front, not at the back.
Yeah,
and it seems to go under the tongue and then round the sides and then finish in your nose.
Yeah, it goes up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're better at describing flavors as movements rather than we are as flavors. It's because we both grew up in like impoverished, so our history bank
doesn't taste
flavors.
like turkey Twizzlers.
Yeah.
No, it's got it's
smiley
like
faces and turkey Twizzlers.
Yeah, it's savoury, but like with this sort of the spice builds into this sweetness. I guess that's what they mean by like the rich fruit stands up to the spice, and it is definitely like a dry fruits like.
Yeah, like all the sugar and none of the. Yeah. I'm gonna give that straight up 4.5.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm on a 4.5 of that. I mean, I'm close to a 5. But 5 is hard.
Are you wanting to give it a 5?
I just don't think I can give it a 5. It's just off.
Will you ever give anything a 5, do you reckon?
Have I never given anything a 5?
I don't think so. I think the only 5 we've got is a Booner from me.
I mean, I can't give my first 5 to a non-Scotch. But that's not why I'm not doing it. I just think there's...
let's see. So you're 4.5. So you've got a Booner.
Yeah.
You've got Winter Storm.
Oh, it definitely doesn't beat that.
No, Winter Storm is very,
I feel like there are 5s that I've had that probably aren't on that list.
I do really like a Winter Storm. I must admit. The Auchentoshan 25-year-old Bordeaux cask.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice one. Ben Rimac Chateau Cisac.
Which probably... This is the issue, right, to me, is that this is great, but, like, it's not.
Yeah. The Glenmorangie Peated Cabernet Sauvignon finish. That's £25 a bottle, apparently.
Yeah, I remember. I was kind of...
Yeah, that's a 4.5.
Yeah, so this is why I think I can give this a 4.5, but it doesn't beat any of them.
3 of them from Gordon MacPhail, but I feel that might have been influenced by the fact how much we enjoyed the Gordon MacPhail whole thing.
Also, like, they weren't cheap whiskey.
No.
They were all very limited special editions. Like,
and that's still the best thing we've done.
Yeah.
That Gordon MacPhail visit.
To do it again, even with a different...
Yeah, it was 100% worth the money, and it was his most expensive thing, wasn't it?
But not by a lot. That's what...
No, what was it, like 50 quid between us?
Yeah. Well, each, but yeah.
Yeah, so...
But we've been on, like...
Tours are usually like 18 to like 25.
Yeah, well, we've been on ones that have been higher than that, with a tour and a tasting that have been...
What was Clydeside?
I can't remember, but it wasn't that. But they had a good one.
What was his most expensive tour and tasting, do you reckon? Maybe Aberlour?
Maybe.
Anyway.
They did a full tour and a full tasting though. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like all the way around everything, talking about everything, then get back and have 5 whiskies, including ones that are like just released.
Yeah, they literally just released Casganam, haven't
they?
Yeah. You gave the Glen Scotia 18 a 4.5. I like a Glen Scotia. Jura 7 Wood, you gave a 4.5.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. I think this is in that.
Yeah, it's in that
ballpark,
range.
But I don't think it beats any of those. So if I was to, I would have to do a full reshuffle.
Maybe one day we'll have to go through all the 4.5s.
So probably, the one I'm closest to giving the 5 is the Chateau Cisac.
Really?
Yeah, that dry. The tannins on that guy are get me.
I think the closest I'm to giving a 5 at the moment is the Winter Storm. I really love the Winter
Storm. Is good though, but it is like
it's like 5 times as expensive.
And I'm assuming you're running out.
I'm not running out, but I'm about halfway through a bottle, I'd say.
Yeah.
And that's my second most expensive bottle, so that kind of shows how much I like it.
If you get close to finishing it, let me know and I'll drive down.
What, to finish it off with?
Yeah.
I've got a special bottle waiting for next time you visit.
Yeah. I feel like if I also do that road trip, then I have to bring someone with me. They probably won't be too happy with me just being like, oh, I'm just going to...
She's more than welcome to visit. Just don't know how much longer it's going to be here.
What? Oh, Bristol, you moving?
I'll still be Bristol, but probably not in the flat for much longer.
Well, wherever if I was to ever visit, we should discuss this later. But
yes,
I wouldn't probably stay at yours if I was bringing someone, because I feel like that's an intrusion.
Yeah. But. I'm sure Andy would give up his bed.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll do a final dram then, shall I?
Yeah, we may have went on a ramble there. Sorry, guys, if you didn't enjoy our
5
chat.
whiskies in, so
yeah, we have to get the hours up somehow.
You've got to get all those mid ads in.
Yeah, when we finally monetize these videos with their 4 and 5, you have to get to 500 before they'll consider you. But
490 to go.
Yeah.
So this is Whistle Pig. So this is Canadian, although it's aged in Vermont.
Which is Canada.
Is Vermont Canada? I thought Vermont was America.
They play a lot of their teams. Oh no, maybe it is. Yeah. What am I thinking of?
Vermont is it's in United States.
It
is right on the Canadian border over on the east side. I'm thinking
of
Vancouver.
Yes, that's the one.
Anyway, so this is Whistle Pig, aged 10 years. Barrel number 4176, Whiskey Exchange exclusive. So this says it's Vermont-based Whistle Pig, but they say that it's created in Canada on the website. So anyway, Vermont-based Whistle Pig started out in 2007 with a large stock of 10-year-old blending whiskey from Canada. From there, with a devotion to the art of rye distilling and aging in quality wood, they forged a strong reputation for top-notch rye whiskey, as the single cask exclusive bottling aptly demonstrates. So I've been looking forward to this because I don't think we've had a rye whiskey.
I would say this is probably American.
If it's rye, yeah.
Yeah, and also, but I feel like they started with Canadian whiskey and they're making their own now in America.
I don't know if they are, because I don't know if they've got a distillery. I think they might just be taking stocks. Anyway. So
that might be it, yeah.
We've got oranges, stewed apples, and spicy donuts, dusted with cinnamon sugar and nutmeg. Grapefruit and lemon zest pushed through the middle of the donut, presumably, followed by a cloud of incense-like herbs and spices.
That's a hippie one.
Ooh, that smells very...
It's quite bready.
Yeah. I see what they mean by donut. It's like fresh baking.
Mm.
Yeah, like freshly baked bread. Ooh. So dive in. You should get rich brown sugar, singed caramel, and more cinnamon sugar. Green leaves sit alongside clove and nutmeg. Bitter lemon and orange roll in behind, balanced by sweet anise and a touch of mint cream. And the finish is licorice and mint with lemon and lime fruit gums. Dark chocolate and piney hints linger.
This is really nice.
What do you get?
Definitely get like a quite bitter citrus. Is like a lot of the flavor. Like it's
spicy.
It's like clove and it's like the clove spice, and then immediately followed up with like a citric, but bitter citric.
Like citrus zest.
Yeah.
That's
really nice.
Zest. Yeah, this is a good one as well. Well, they always say rye whiskey is spicy.
Am I getting the mint?
Hmm.
Maybe I feel like the anise and the mint are kind of like the same concept in this, which is like the numbing.
I get star anise.
Yeah.
That kind of aniseedy.
Slightly numbing though, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It deads your palate in that area.
Yeah.
I mean, I like aniseeds, but
I do, because I mean, I like what's it called? The drink.
Oh, Sambuca?
No.
Ouzo?
No, I like Ouzo, but no, I'm thinking of like the one that's famous for making you go blind.
Another one you mean?
It's green. Absinthe. Yes.
Or absinthe, if you're French.
Yeah. No, I like Ouzo as well. But absinthe as well is quite aniseedy.
Yeah.
So I've put freshly baked bread on the nose, clove spice with citrus zest, and mint/anise. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Just that this one also has an interesting path around the mouth.
Interesting path. Yep.
It's very clovey.
It is very clovey. In fact, I'm going to add that to the description just to double down. Very clovey. What would you like to give that? What would your score be on that one?
As a drink, I'm going to just judge this separate from like saying, as a whiskey, because like usually we're talking malts.
Yes.
For grains. This is rye. It's different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to judge it standalone, not like in a competition to the others. Because as a whiskey, I would say if it was in the same category as the others, it's completely different, and so it gets a lower score. But on its own, I'd be willing. Like this has been a great box, and I'd probably be willing to give that a 4 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to say 4 on that one. That has been.
I just felt I needed to stay,
because I feel a little bad about the 3.5s, because I think if they were in another box,
they'd probably get a higher score. Yeah,
they'd have probably been 4s.
Yeah.
All of the ones we've had in this box today, I would gladly have a couple of.
Yeah. This is where having what is essentially a 10-point scoring system, even though we score out of 5, we have halves.
Maybe we need to have like a description of a scoring system. So like 0 to 1 is undrinkable. 1 to 2 is bag in basement.
Yeah.
2
We're
to
talking
3.
1 to 2 is like.
It's like your bells or your.
Yeah. Like it's not making me vomit, but like I probably want a mixer in this.
Yes.
Like I would maybe accept it if you put this in a whiskey cocktail.
Yeah, 2 to 3 is like below average, but.
Well, yeah, 3 is like the average, so 2
Yeah.
to 3 is below average. 3 to 4 is like.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
3 to 4 is like, would happily have a couple of drinks of this.
Yeah. Maybe buy a bottle if it was cheap.
Yeah, / so this is because some you wouldn't have more than one of because they're just so rich or so strong.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something in there, and then 4 to 5 is
like
serious contender for a bottle of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should.
If I saw this and it was on offer, I'd maybe buy it, which is in the 3 to 4 range.
Yeah. 4 to 5 is, if I had the money, I would buy this.
Yeah. Yeah, money no object. I'm buying a whiskey. This is in the list.
Yes. Okay.
Like, for me, a 5 is like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Still waiting for someone to create a decent sherry cask with like go with like bourbon for like 2 years or 3 years, sherry for like 2 or 3 years and then finish in like a red wine.
I want to try that James Eady that they were talking about at the Bristol Whiskey Festival that was 26 years in a sherry cask.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
It could be very nice, or it could just ruin sherry cask whiskies by being too much.
Yeah.
Risky taking it.
I mean, I feel like it's never going to be too much. Because if it was too much, they wouldn't try and sell it.
Well, once you've aged for 26 years, you've got to try and sell it.
I don't know that they do. Like the point, what I mean is like they like what we learned at Gordon MacPhail is that they generally don't just leave it.
Yeah,
they're going about checking it
because they're experts. But
no, but I feel like
most don't know where these casks have come from because this James Eady hasn't been going 26 years.
I suppose.
So someone may have laid him down.
They wouldn't buy it if it was like turned.
No, you'd have thought not. So I would like to try it because I mean I liked the James Eady's that we tried. In fact, I bought a bottle of it. So yeah, I managed to get it home. Anyway, that's our 6 whiskies for this week /month / however long it's been. The technical hitch that's been slowing us down has now hopefully been resolved.
Thanks, so it was my job, but he took some time out of his busy schedule. I care about us listeners. Yeah. So hopefully this weekend we will see one get uploaded, and then I will aim to upload the backlog one a week. And then when you're at this one, we should have been doing this for like 5 weeks.
Including this one, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes.
We also have 2 chambered boxes, so after this one, you'll probably still get a fortnightly go.
Yes, and then once we've caught back up, hopefully we'll be back to monthly. Although,
by that point, maybe we might have thought of a way to incorporate extras if we're managing to do this to a drum beat.
Yeah, that'd be good. We shall discuss that. What we got to do is work out. In fact, I'll chuck this one to you, seeing as I did the cards for you. Yeah. Work out as virtual distillery tours.
So are we talking? We can discuss this offline. But yes.
Yeah. So yes.
I'm good at ideas and I'm bad at implementation.
Yeah, we both are, unfortunately. So we will call it a day there. Thank you everyone for listening as always. Share, like, subscribe, leave comments. We're open to all feedback.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Cheers. See you.